Now, even coming it right to left, right? Yeah, it's a little different. This is left, this is right, by the way. Now, it's still a little higher, but it's not hair or receding, right? Which means it's going up into the hair and making the hairline go higher, right? Now, we're just discussing the male pattern baldness, which then there would be a pattern all throughout the hair, and it would get a bald spot, say here or here, or somewhere in the back. Like I said. Now, I'm not judging you if you are or are not bald, right? It just sometimes happens here. This is the fallen world, right? Regarding to good and evil, right? Where we sinned with Satan. And this is the aftermath of that, right? Now, why can't we Jedi things, though, and move an object? Because, see, the spirit is, what? Without form or void. It has no shape. It has no body. And if the angels are gaseous, neither do they. See, if you're like the sun in its glory, right? Does the sun, again, have an outer shell? Yes. So would the angels, right? But that's all they are, is the silhouette of a man, right? They're not flesh and blood like we are, right? But Satan is, this is what the Gnostics are explaining, Satan hates the terrestrial universe, the physicality of God, right? In the flesh, right? If you understand that part of Gnosticism too, what they're explaining there. See, it's not God who hates the terrestrial, it's Satan. And he wants you to think it's a mistake God even made you. Do you understand? So he used sex in Eden to trick us, right? But it wasn't normal sex, it was what kind of sex? Anal. Of course, to introduce it to us, he first tempted Eve with straight sex. And then Adam too. Then he introduced the anal. First to Eve, then Adam. Why? Okay, he has two holes like Eve, but a penis, right? But he's going to hide that from Adam until he kissed her. Yeah, and like I said, do you not, if you're biting a piece of fruit, you take it into your mouth, idiot. That's the point to the parable. What's the parable? Something that has more than one meaning, like the parable of the sower, right? Now, the parable of the sower talks about a sower, a man who's planting a garden, if you will. He's the sower, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. And he's throwing out seeds into his field. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens is he throws out the seed, right? Certain falls on different places in the soil. Mm-hmm. Some of the soil is rocky. Some of the soil is, and this is the explanation of it, right? As well. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's read that today. What's the parable in the Bible anyway? Mm-hmm. It's something that has more than one apparent meaning, right? And has a deeper meaning and understanding than the surface layer of what's told, right? That's Eden to the T, to the T. You just don't want to deal with it. What it's really saying they did wasn't something they ate of, but sex with Satan. I'm just speaking it to you plainly. Because since Moses wrote it, it's been a debate. What does this mean? Is this a literal fruit tree and a literal fruit they ate of that caused them to become aware they were naked? Which, how many apples can you bite? Even a blowjob wouldn't make you aware you're naked. If you know what I mean. Oral sex wouldn't do that, would it? No. Alone. Mm-hmm. I know. Mm-hmm. Nor would a hand job do. Okay. Okay. If you see what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Alright. Mm-hmm. That was the first time it's mentioned is in Matthew. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Chapter 13, and it's kind of lengthy because he also explains the parable, right? Now that's what I'm doing. I'm explaining what Moses did not explain to you, but they could have taught it orally as an oral tradition in conjunction with the written. See, that's why John said there were many things Jesus did that were not written down, but these are written down that you might believe he is the Son of God. See. That means there was more things that Jesus actually did than they wrote down, but these were written that you might believe, right? That he was the Son of God. Among them is the parable of the sower. Mm-hmm. The same day went Jesus out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. Mm-hmm. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, right, behold, a sower went forth to sow. Mm-hmm. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, right? And forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth, right? And when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had no root, they withered away, right? And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. Another word would be tares, as well, which are, you ever see that grass on the side of the road that's like there but don't really do anything? That's a tare. Now, wheat, on the other hand, is something you can eat. I don't know. A tare is what you see on the side of the road, by the way. It's all over the place. I know it is. Again, but others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear, right? So every time Jesus tells these little parables, he says, you can hear it if you want to hear it, but there's another thing. You can't if you don't want to either. You can deny it. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you. This is the disciples, by the way. To know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But to them, it is not given, right? But Why? Why? To some, it's not given because you won't inquire it of Jesus like the disciples did as well. See, they asked him, hey, what does this mean? Right. Well, you don't want to know what it means, what they did and eat and did. Another thing, right? For whosoever hath, to him shall be given. And he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Right. Now that's because Satan is cursing you to take away that which you have, right? And try to take away your very life, right? While you're here on earth till you die. Now, riches alone, though, ain't what Jesus is talking about, right? He's also talking about your life, right, itself, right? Now, if you're rich or poor, that don't matter to God, right? But what does matter is what you do while you're here, right? How you treat each other, right? Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which is Isaiah, right? Which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. Right? See, that's what I keep telling him. You're not perceiving the parable right of what happened in Eden. Right? Okay, you want me to show the pretty ladies? I'll show the pretty lady. This is BB Lexa, and he goes back to caveman days, which is right before Eden. Which is right before Eden. God made them skins, people. That's the dawn of creation where, what's her name? Doja Cat is playing Eve, and an African guy is playing Adam. And, well, what if one is white and one is black? Which one, the male or the female? Does it matter if we all come from Eden? We all come from a dominant and recessive gene, right? Now, the recessive gene makes an albino eventually, right? Through Noah. And Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, Canaan, crazy redneck assholes, is the one who was cursed, not Ham. Now, Ham is assumed to be Ethiopian, right? Or therefore black. Japheth is considered Greek, and Shem is considered Semitic, including the Arabs in Israel. Right. You understand? That's where we all come from. Now, Shem can also be the Asian, right? And things like that, too. Right. But anyway, sorry I had to look at the sexy ladies. For a second there. And they are sexy. Even I see that now. Come on. Ain't that blind. Woo. But that's just to make him understand I find them sexy, but I'm still disabled in Georgia, and even if I wasn't, then I could do something else, but then you would know more about me, and it would be different. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have enclosed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart and should be converted, and I should heal them, right? See, that's why I'm being healed, right? Now you might say, well, Shane, we see your injuries. We know that's not normal, but how are you walking on it even? That's what the healing part is, right? Well, why do you have arthritis pain, you might say? Well, because A, it's not everybody who can even get up on the 3-story building.